Hey guys, what's going on? My name is ipsyN and Samsung just announced the Galaxy Note 10 a few days before this video was made, which means my Galaxy Note 9 is actually 1 year old. And I've been using this thing over the past year on and off, and I think I've used it about a total of 4 to 5 months. And overall, I think it's a fantastic phone and I think it held up great. Now, it's not all peaches and roses. There is a bunch of stuff that I like about it, and there's a couple of things that I don't like about it. Like literally 2 things. And you may agree with me or disagree with me, but let me know down below in the comment section. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. And if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. So I'm going to start off with what I actually like about the Galaxy Note 9, and one of those things is the design of the Galaxy Note 9. I feel like it could go toe-to-toe with the phones that are out right now in 2019. I mean, Samsung always did a good job with the displays, especially when they curved it off the edges and they call it that infinity display. So there aren't any bezels on the sides at all on this phone. And then you have a small bezel on the top and the bottom, which means there won't be no punch-out camera or a pop-up camera. But in terms of design, I think it looks pretty good for a phone in 2019. It kept all the ports like the headphone jack, it's got fast charging with USB-C port, and it has an SD card slot. So physically, I really like the way the Galaxy Note 9 looks. Which leads me to my second point that I really like about this phone, and it's how durable it is. I've used it on and off for over a year now, and I don't normally like to put any cases on my phone because I want to be able to appreciate the design aspects of the phone that these companies spend a lot of time putting together. So with that said, I'm pretty careful with my phone. But with the Galaxy Note 9, I happened to drop it once, and when it actually fell, it fell on the corner of it, and I really was sure that I was going to shatter the display. But this phone is built really good and it's very durable. As you can see where the impact was made, it's just shattered the frame a little bit and the glass around the area, but it didn't radiate through the rest of the display. So it held up pretty good. Other than that, I haven't noticed any dings or scratches. The only thing that I put on this phone is a dbrand skin on the back, and that's it. And I just rock it as is. And over the past year, it's actually held up pretty good. No minor scratches or no dings or anything like that from this phone. So that's all for the physical part of the phone, but what about the internals? And that's where I want to talk about the specs. So this one right here has a Snapdragon 845, it's got 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. But remember, it also has a micro SD card slot, so you can expand that even more. So overall, performance has been great, and that's because it's a Galaxy Note, and the Note lineup phones always have the highest specs, and sometimes they are even above what the standard is at its time. So with the Galaxy Note 9 being 1 year old, some of the specs were on par with last year phones at the time, and some of them were ahead of their time. So when it comes to performance, I haven't noticed much of a delay or much of a lag. It can go toe-to-toe with my Galaxy S10, and I don't really game much, but for the few times that I game, I haven't noticed any hiccups or any lags. So I really do like the performance of the Galaxy Note 9, and I think even today in 2019 it's going to be able to perform extremely well. So battery life has always been a hot topic in the cell phone industry. We all remember what's happened to the Samsung Note 7 when Samsung tried to push the boundaries on the size of the battery. Well, this one right here, the Galaxy Note 9, has a 4000 milliamp battery, and honestly, it has been able to perform like a champ. Most cell phones batteries degrade over time, especially when they get to 1 year old or 1.5 year old, but the Samsung Note 9, from my experience, has been really good. I've been able to get about a day to a day and a half out of this 4000 milliamp battery, and if I really tried and pushed myself, I could probably get about 2 days out of it. And remember, if you're a heavy user, this thing has quick charge, so you could always top it off at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon by plugging it in for about 15 to 20 minutes, and you'll get anywhere between 70 to 80% of your battery back, and you'll be able to go on your way for a nice long evening or throughout the night. Now let's talk about the camera before I get into the 2 things that I didn't like about this phone. So the Galaxy Note 9 has 2 cameras on the back. You have a standard focal length with a variable aperture lens, and then you have a telephoto lens. Now I really do wish that Samsung went ahead and put a wide angle lens, because I honestly never use that telephoto lens, but I think the pictures that come out of the Galaxy Note 9 are really nice. I mean, they're sharp, they're detailed, and you know they're always going to be saturated because that's just what Samsung does with their displays and with their cameras. But overall, I think they look really nice. Here are some sample photos that I took at my sister's wedding, and some of these are really nice. Some of them I used the live focus feature on the Galaxy Note 9, which actually lets you change the amount of blur you have in a picture afterwards from when you take the picture. But overall, I really like the way these pictures came out. Now, it was in the middle of the day, and I will have some night shots and nighttime pictures, and you can judge for yourself. But overall, I think that it's a camera that's great, and unless you pixel peep, honestly, I think it could go toe-to-toe with the Galaxy S10. But let me know down below in the comment section if you have any experience with Samsung cameras or the Note camera and what you think about it. Okay, so now let's talk about the two things that I did not like about the Galaxy Note 9. And one of them, which will be the second one, is actually just a personal preference, so you may or may not agree with it, but let me know down below in the comment section. But the first thing that I want to touch on and talk about is the screen brightness. Now, I've said earlier in this video that Samsung makes one of the best displays on phones, even to the point where the iPhone's using displays from Samsung. But for some reason, it just doesn't get bright enough for me. Whether I'm outside during the day or I'm indoors at my job or at home, I'm always turning up the brightness on this phone to that little red section where Samsung basically warns you not to keep your phone that high. But for some reason, unless it's nighttime or unless it's the evening, I always have to keep it at its highest brightness just so that I can use it comfortably. Now, I really do hope that they fix this in the Note 10, because I went ahead and pre-ordered it. So if you guys want to see coverage of the Galaxy Note 10, then definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so the final thing about the Galaxy Note 9 that I do want to touch on that some people may like and some people may not is just the size of it. Like, this is a really big phone, and me personally, if you follow my channel or you know me in any way, then you know that I prefer smaller phones because it's a lot easier to use with one hand and it's more comfortable. That's why I like using the Pixel 3, and that's why I picked up a Galaxy S10 and not the S10 Plus. With that in mind, I went ahead and ordered the Note 10 because I believe it is a little bit smaller than the Note 9 from last year, and there's no way I was going to be able to deal with the Note 10 Plus. So I just wanted to make sure that I let you guys know that if you are planning to pick this phone up and you are eyeballing it, just keep in mind that it is a pretty large phone. It has a 6.4-inch display, which is beautiful, but your hands are going to get fatigued in trying to reach all four corners of this phone. So anyway, those were my thoughts on the Galaxy Note 9. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I think it's a fantastic phone. So if you're in the market for a big phone, or you want a Galaxy Note and don't want to spend $1,000 on the new flagship phones, then definitely consider this one, because right now you could probably pick one up for about $500 to $550. I'll leave a couple of links down below in the description if you guys are interested. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, then definitely give it a thumbs up. If it's your first time to my channel, consider subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, stay plugged.